Hey witches, if you are enjoying Waking Up the Witch, then you're definitely going to want to check out my magical shop, Moonbee's Wellness in Medford, Oregon. We have a curated collection of crystals, incense, sage, witchy books, tarot, oracle, and so much magic made locally here in the Rogue Valley. Whether you're just beginning your witchy path or you've been on this journey for quite a while, we have so many items to support where you are in your journey. And we ship anywhere in the US, so no need to be local. But Moonbees is more than just a shop. We are also a sacred space and supportive to your healing journey. I'm a Reiki master, and I also offer a lot of intuitive sessions, including past life readings and past life regression sessions. And all of this can be done virtually online, so I can help you no matter where you're at. Come visit us in Southern Oregon or follow Moonbees Wellness on Instagram and Moonbees_Medford on TikTok. And remember, magic's this way.
This episode of Waking Up the Witch is brought to you by Taylar Pickett Styles. I'm Taylar Pickett, and I am an intuitive hairstylist in Southern Oregon. I offer in-person services as well as online tutorials on how to care for your curly hair, how to properly shampoo your hair. If you're a hairstylist, I offer lots of education and one-on-one consulting on how to build your clientele and take care of your clients. If you're interested in any of these services, please reach out to me. There will be a link in the bio. I also offer organic hair care from Innocence Organic Beauty, and you can also buy that online through me, link in the bio, and also on my Instagram page, Taylar Pickett Styles. I also have a TikTok page if you're into just talking a little bit more deeply about things, going into deeper dives about hair care, self-love, and self-worth. My TikTok handle is Southern Oregon Curl. And don't forget, tame nothing, nourish everything. Enjoy this episode. I'm Taylar.
And I'm Amber.
And this is
Waking Up the Witch. We're your neighborhood witches. Each week, we talk about all things witchy and connect with other humans in a storytelling format about navigating life on this floating rock.
We're two curious ladies trying to understand the human experience. But while we do that, we think it's important to honor the people that lived here before us and honor the cultures and traditions that we're being inspired by.
This podcast is about waking up the witch, which means we are learning and growing every day. That being said, we are always open to feedback on how we can do better.
The views and opinions of our guests don't necessarily reflect the views and opinions of Waking Up the Witch. Now, let's go, ghouls. See that? Yum. Hey, Amber.
Hi, Taylar.
What's up?
Man, what a day.
Mm-hmm.
This is our second recording for today, and it's just so wild how synchronistic things are. How these conversations just line up with, like, by total universal accident.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I knew none of that information, so that was crazy.
Yeah, I just love having these conversations and like diving deep with people,
Mhm.
and like I think like I have this greater hope for like yeah. For just like helping to give permission to people to like have these kinds of conversations, like
and
normalizing
not feel shame for like things. I feel like we've all we don't have control of our childhoods. We're
Yeah.
just kind of there, trying to figure
Mhm.
out how to be a human being, and then it takes a lot of time to like unlearn habits and stories and sorry, this floating thing. Yeah, so just giving yourself permission to heal and not be afraid of the shadow or feel ashamed.
Yeah, I think it's hard, like, when we're being vulnerable in these ways to not feel that shame, but it's like that's our story and it's what got us to here. And I just think like we all as friends and humans should be having these conversations more,
Mm-hmm.
because I just think like we are so much more connected, or we'd have such a better understanding of people, more empathy, more compassion, like
Yeah.
knowing.
Well, we know the world needs that.
Yeah, like we all have our own stories. And
And allowing other people to like be healing, and it's
totally.
okay if that's messy
Yeah.
sometimes. And I think something she said was like, people expect you to be like, okay, are you better now? And like, I've
Yeah.
seen that so much with like, my mom losing her husband. Is like,
Mhm.
people only really allowed her to grieve for like a year. And then they're like, okay, well, now you're acting crazy. Get
Yeah.
it together. And it's like, she saw his brains. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So that's like not normal.
No, that lives with you.
And you'll never be the same.
Mm-mm.
And so I don't think expecting people to just like get
Go
back up
back.
on the
Yeah.
horse is like really normal.
No.
And I know life keeps like,
Life and
lifing, and yeah. So I'm just really grateful for her vulnerability and
me too.
honesty and time, and yeah,
Yeah. Go have a deep conversation with your close
somebody.
friend. I'm sure like there's so much that you don't know about your bestie or
Not
someone
my besties.
someone
I'd be
close.
grilling them all the time. Tell me everything.
Well, it's
Why don't you
interesting,
talk to me
even
more?
like, recently when I told my story, you were like, oh, I didn't know a lot of those things about you. Like, even that, it's like we've been talking at each other, with each other, and two others for 3 years now almost.
And it's
And
not the first time we've told our stories, and it
yeah,
still changes.
yeah, there's still like so much more to tell.
Oh my God, did I tell you that Jesse Chapman's going to be on?
Oh, yeah, soon. Like in a couple weeks, we get to
Yeah.
interview.
She's my
Yay.
childhood best friend since first grade. And I'm sure
Oh,
that I was with her the whole time. And
yeah,
I'm sure there's still so
there's
much I
gonna be
don't know.
pieces. Yeah.
Today is 8 years since I met Curtis at a bar.
Congrats. Happy anniversary. You can listen to
Yeah.
that story a couple back. I
I
think
didn't
Taylor
even
part 2.
realize it till later because I don't ever know what day it is. But
I just think about you sharing here, talking about like you went on this Tinder date and you were just like expecting to go out and like have a date, but you weren't like fully committed.
I was
You're
not
like not expecting it to
into
like
it.
be anything. You're like, can
No.
my friends come hang out?
I'm going to drink beer, eat chicken wings, and talk about myself the whole time.
And 8 years later, married
Here
with a
we are.
baby.
Almost 2-year-old. Crazy.
Yeah, life
Life
is
is
unexpected.
cool. Life is grand.
So good.
Okay, well, we won't take any more of your time. Enjoy this interview with Hope. It was really great. I don't know why I said interview like that. Enjoy.
Oh, wait, but before that, we have a Patreon. We have to talk about the
Why is
Patreon.
this guy yelling outside? Shut up.
We're downtown.
Sorry.
Stuff like this always happens.
Go see
Visit
us on Patreon. We yap a lot
patreon.com
more. There's patreon.com/
slash
waking
waking
up the
up the
witch. You can
witch.
download the app where there's more. I feel like it's easier to access and there's more visibility of everything. We have a little group chat on there, which is free.
Yeah, there's a free
You
group chat.
get in at any tier, but every tier offers so much.
So much.
We do spells and meditations. We have just bonus episodes. We
We
have swag. We do team meetings once a month where we get to like hang out and do manifesting and use all of our like, communal power to charge each other's manifestations.
There's
And
bonus
I said that.
episodes. Oh, there's a monthly zine with like even more magic and creativity. There's monthly playlists.
Oh, yep, that's a good one.
There is a lot. And there's also single support purchase items too. So if you just want to like buy us coffee or get a shout out on the pod and like a special card pool, we'll do that for you too. So you don't have to subscribe
Every
monthly.
dollar helps, though. We're
Yeah.
doing this for free, and it just helps us to pay to keep doing this. And,
Yeah.
we miss a job that pays us to be here because we believe in this work. So,
Yeah.
just support us. We're trying to support you. We love you.
Yeah. Now go enjoy this episode with Hope Allen.
Okay. If you can, I would like you to close your eyes to be present in this moment. And we're going to take 3 deep breaths to connect our energy. Take 1 big deep breath in. Hold it at the top and breathe out. We'll take another big deep breath in, bigger than the last. Fill your lungs from the bottom all the way to the top. Hold 2, 3, 4, and let it all out. Empty the tank. On this last deep breath in, I want you to imagine you're taking in all the love and light, and we'll just breathe in deep. And we'll breathe out all the bullshit and fear and stress and anxiety. I would like to call in our guides, ancestors, and angels and our higher self to be here with us today. And for anything that's meant to come through, for the collective to come through. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right, please introduce yourself.
So I'm Hope Allen, and I live in Talent, Oregon. I'm a holistic aesthetician. I was born in Bellingham, Washington, but I was raised just outside of Southern California in a really small town called Acton, which no one's ever really heard of, but it
I've
was
never
near.
heard of that.
Yeah, it's near like the Antelope Valley, Palmdale, Lancaster. Kind of nothing. Nothing is there. Like we used to ditch high school and sit in like rain trenches, hold cardboard over ourselves. There's literally nothing there. It's really boring. I have 4 sisters. I have an older sister in San Francisco, and I have 2 half sisters that I don't talk to anymore. I don't talk to my mom either. I'm estranged by choice.
Mm-hmm.
She lives somewhere in Arizona. Not even sure. And my dad just died like 2 months ago.
I'm
That's
so
been
sorry.
really hard. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Hope.
Thanks.
So take us back to kind of your childhood and what it was like growing up there and just like what kind of life you had.
Yeah. Let's see. We had a pool, and we did not have, it's the era of go outside and play, don't come inside until
Yep.
lunch, don't come inside until dinner, like just don't come inside.
Yeah.
I never knew what my mom was doing. She was a housewife, but we just never were really in the house. I don't know what she did in there. But we had a pool, and we had horses, and we had plenty of things to keep ourselves occupied, doing cartwheels all day long with my sister. And that was fun. But we did have a tyrant stepfather, and that was not fun.
Mm-hmm. How old were you when your parents separated?
My mom, well, I guess however you look at it, my dad either left or my mom left him. I'm not sure, but we lived with my grandparents when I was like 2, and then she married my stepdad when I was 5.
Okay.
And my sister was older, so she was 5 years older than me. So she didn't really have to deal with him as long, and she left when she was 16. And then I also left when I was 16, but that's kind of getting ahead of
Mm-hmm.
ourselves. Yeah, he was like, we called him Hitler in the house. He was really scary. Yeah, we weren't really allowed to do anything. Like we would get spanked if we wore our socks outside. Like
Wow.
it was scary all the time. Yeah. We had my sister and I had this room where she had a room where like you had to go outside to get to her room, but we had a vent. So we would talk to each other through the vent. And like I would hear like Cyndi Lauper or whatever she was listening to over there. But when we got punished, like we could hear each other screaming and crying through the vent. And that was pretty
Mm-hmm.
horrifying.
Yeah.
A lot of
And then
spanking.
so your stepdad and your mom had 2 children together
Yeah.
after.
They had 2 kids later, and they were, of course, treated differently
Mm-hmm.
than I feel like I was, or even Faith. But my sister, she was older, and he wasn't very nice to her either. But I always felt like I got the brunt of it because I had to live with him the longest, and I wasn't
Yeah.
his child. So I'm always like the one in the family that's been the most like disgruntled and the one that seemed to always have all the problems or whatever, but
Yeah.
I feel like it was so valid and no one
Mhm.
really seems to understand that.
Did
Mm-hmm.
And
you split time with your dad too?
so yeah, we weren't allowed to see him anymore. Like
Oh,
my dad told me, like I met my dad when I was 16
okay.
for the very first time. Yeah, when I was 16, and he told me that he would try to call, but
Mm.
my stepdad would be just basically said, don't come around, don't call anymore.
Dang.
And I didn't know that, but
Yeah.
yeah. So that was rough, but any kind of nostalgic kind of childhood feelings that I have that were happy stem from my grandparents because my grandparents would take my sister and I like every summer for the whole summer and holidays and things like that and take us like camping and fishing and drove
Mm.
us all over in the motor home and we got to have all these like really fun experiences at lakes and on the boat and stuff like that. So that was happy. I mean, I feel like if it weren't for them, it would have been just complete dismal.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even remember so much of it because I blocked so much of it
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
I also have a question, like, so your names are Hope and Faith. Were your parents
Mhm.
like super religious?
No, my mom just liked those names, she said. And then my other sisters are Jenny and Jackie because Frank said he wanted his kids to have normal names.
God. He like
Like,
hated
whatever.
you right off the bat.
Of
Yeah,
course, his name's
totally.
Frank.
Yeah, and it was this really long last name, his last name. He just swooped in and like we had to call him dad. We had to have his last name and his last name was so long my mom had to like put each letter on cards and like I had to put it in order and like memorize how to say it and how to spell it. It
Wow.
was like 13 letters long. It's like whatever.
Wow.
Yeah, it was stupid. And I remember what I was gonna say, but yeah, he sucked. And
Yes.
I decided, after my grandparents, basically as I got older, I decided after my grandparents died, I wasn't going to talk to them anymore. I was like, I'm not going to sit around this like table or holidays, like pretending like I'm not sitting with like my abuser and that
Yeah.
everyone's like okay with this. When I would try to talk to my mom about it, it was always like the ultimate gaslighting, like, well, you wanted to leave and I don't remember and you did that, you and you, whatever, and just never taking any responsibility for like protecting me or basically choosing him.
Mm-hmm.
None of that. So I wrote her a letter like 5 years ago, just kind of saying I don't really want to talk to you anymore. And I haven't for a long
Totally
time.
Did she
understandable.
respond to your letter at all?
No, never.
Bitch.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. And now, like, something really bad happened in my life, which I can get to later, but I did call her and texted her. And then sometimes we text here and there. And like, she has given me some money because, like, every time she gives money to all the siblings, and she gives it to me too. And I'm like, well, yeah, like, I'll take it.
Yeah.
I feel like I'll take that if you want to give it to me. But there's not a lot of communication.
So
Okay,
hard.
so leaving the house at 16 sounds really tricky. What happened
Yeah.
there?
So my sister left when she was 16. I started talking to my dad when I was in high school. And then he lived in San Jose and she left to go live with him when she was 16. And then, of course, I was left alone.
Yeah.
I felt like it was horrible when she left. I remember we just dropped her off at this McDonald's, and they wouldn't even let me see my dad. It was like this transaction. Like, we pulled up in these cars, and she just leaves, takes off with him. And of course, I'm just like so jealous and left living in this horrible, with this, in this horrible situation. I didn't even get to see him. And then I wasn't even allowed to like talk about it. It was like she was just gone.
Wow.
My sister. Like, it was
And you
so
have the same
traumatic.
dad.
Yeah.
So how did he get back in the picture so that she had contact with him in the first
But
place?
she started talking to him also. Well, my mom had friends who kind of had been keeping tabs on my dad for her, and he got sober and kind of started, being in a space where we were getting older. Faith was getting older, so I guess they were like, you can talk to him on the phone or whatever. And
Mm-hmm.
that's how that communications started. But then Faith kind of started acting out,
Mm-hmm.
and Frank didn't like that, so he was like, "Fine, she can go live with him." And
Yeah,
so I
not
was
our
like,
problem
"Okay,
anymore.
well, I'll start acting out too." So
Yeah.
I was like, I was even 10 times worse. I was doing acid before school. I was
Oh my God.
drinking. Yeah, my friend Carrie and I, we would take acid and just go to high school and just like sit in the back, just like, wow, like freaking out. Or we would just like,
Yeah, what's
we
acid like at high school?
I remember some of my
crazy.
friends doing
So
that.
crazy.
Yeah. We went
Intense.
to, like, the first time we did acid, we went to the mall, because we didn't have anywhere else to go. So you go to the
No,
mall, and that movie Groundhog's Day was playing. And we went and saw
no,
Groundhog's Day,
no.
and we watched it, and we were like, we could do anything. Like, it doesn't matter. We can do anything. We
Just
just thought,
restart
just didn't
tomorrow.
matter. Like, yeah, it was so weird. And then I don't even remember what happened after that, but I do remember having to eat dinner that night with my family. My mom, she liked to make breakfast sometimes for dinner, and it was
Mm-hmm.
like pancakes with like the eggs and the syrup. And I was like, oh, like just free. And my mom, she was like, "Hello, what did you do today? You look sunburned." Like, just, I was probably all red. Like, oh, it was so horrible. I was like, oh my God. I don't know how they never knew. They never knew. But then finally we got caught. So I I remember getting like pulled out of my class at school, getting like walked by like very officially like to the office or something. And then all of a sudden, so I'm sitting in the office, and all of a sudden my friend Carrie too, they get us together. And then my mom comes in, and my friend Carrie, she's like, "Janice," that's my mom's name. "Janice, Hope and I took lysergic acid, a hallucinogenic drug this morning." My mom was like, "What?" And she took me to like the pediatrician, thinking that they could do something about it, and they were like, "No, like, she has to write it out. Like, there's nothing we can do about this." But it was great, because then all of a sudden that was the last straw. They were like, "That's it. You're out. You're out of here." I only had to live there for I think like 2 more weeks,
Mm-hmm.
and then I was shipped off to San Jose, which was which was great. And it
Which
was
is
sad.
where your
I was
dad
sad.
was, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I remember my friend Carrie, because she was like, 'cause I wasn't very, popular in high school. I would just had like my one friend from a small town, and I had it was just me and my friend Carrie since junior high all through high school. And she came over to say bye, and she brought me this like Long John t-shirt. I'm like getting choked up, because we were so into like grunge, like
Mm-hmm.
Nirvana, like we were super into Kurt Cobain. And she brought me this Long John t-shirt, and I was like, "Oh my God, it's the best thing ever." And I never saw her again. We just had to say goodbye, and that was it.
Oh,
Have you gotten into
Yeah.
contact with her ever since?
She actually lives in Oregon now, and I saw her just a couple years ago. She lives in Corvallis. Yeah,
Awesome.
and I went to visit her once. Yeah, it was
oh.
really
That's so
fun.
sweet. So, what was it like going to live with a grown man that you'd never met before?
Yeah, it was really weird. It was really weird. We had a really rough start, because I was just, trying to escape
Hmm.
from my situation, and I didn't really care about him. I didn't really care about having a real relationship with him at that point.
Mm-hmm.
But he was fun. It was way different than what I was used to. Like every day before high school, he would drive me to 7-Eleven and we would get a cup of coffee and a pack of Marlboro Reds. And we would smoke. And he taught me like how to hold the coffee in the car, to sell a bow, like he was a car salesman. He was very much a car salesman. He wore all these rings on his fingers and you couldn't trust him as far as you could throw him.
Uh-huh.
I couldn't even bring like girlfriends to the house because he was such a pervert. Like
No.
he would like look through binoculars at us through like the pool into the pool at the apartment building, and he was really something. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I can
eventually he
relate to
ended
that.
up kicking me out also. I think I only lived with him maybe for a few months and then I was out. And I've been on my own since I was 16, 17.
Yeah,
Wow.
where'd you go?
I lived with a lot of friends' parents.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking about that this week. There are like times when I never even met the parents. I didn't even know who they were. Like because we would probably just, go to sleep all day, or maybe in the beginning, I might have gone to school for a little bit before I completely stopped going to school. But we would just come in at night or really early in the morning, and then we would probably just leave when they were at work. But yeah, I didn't even know who some of these people were. And then I would just go from person to person to person with my garbage bag of stuff. And, just for the longest time, I did that. It was just fleeing and fight or flight, just from one thing to the next until I met I met this guy who I had like applied at this movie theater for a job, and he called me and was like, "I'm not the manager or anything. I just want to hang out with you." And then I ended up living with him for like 4 years.
Wow.
Yeah. But we were like homeless at times. We lived in San Jose, which is now like we used to live in this building, which I think is a Whole Foods now. It was like an old abandoned bank, and he would get drunk and like pee the bed, which was like all we had to sleep
Oh my
in
God.
sometimes. Like it
No.
was really bad. Yeah, just kind of like squatting, I guess they called it. We lived in this house that was crazy. We called it the 8th Street Drugstore, which now I guess they'd call a trap house, but I didn't know what that was. But at any point there was so much drugs and so much craziness, and it was quite sad. I used to go down into the basement and like look through all my stuff and like look at my childhood photos and like cry.
Oh.
It was way too young to be living like that.
Well, no one should have to live like that,
Yeah.
regardless of
Yeah. It was really
age or
scary.
circumstance or anything like that. Were you using at the time too?
Oh yeah. I mean, I had to in order just to keep up with, to not be homeless. Like everything
Mm-hmm.
I did was to not be homeless.
So how did you get out of that situation?
I met these people at this coffee shop once who, like, I was hanging out at this coffee shop and their daughter was just talking to me, and I clicked with their little girl. She was like 8 or something, and they were like, "Come over to our house and we want to talk to you and hang out." Because I was super young then, I realized, and they like moved me into their house like the next day. They're like, "Oh my gosh, you
Oh.
don't have a place to live. Like you can't live like this. You need to come live with us." And that was the first time I'd ever experienced like what new age was. Like they were super into tarot. Kelly was like the psychic. That's what she did for a living. They bought me these ruins and they like made me write on them. And she's like, "Now you have to wear them on your underwear for like 2 weeks because you have to charge them and all these things." And I was like, "Okay." They helped me get a job. They bought me eventually, like they set me up in like a room for rent for like 3 months. They were amazing. They were like angels
Do
in
you
my
keep
life.
Wow.
in touch with them?
No, I lost touch with them, unfortunately. This is
Wow.
like before a lot of technology stuff, but yeah.
So did you get a job then?
I had some jobs, but not for long. Um, that eventually like didn't last, and it basically was just back to, partying and surviving and running around. And I would just kind of latch on to certain people and hang out with them for a very long time. And then that would fizzle out and it would be someone else. And we would do all kinds of crazy stuff. I went to lots of raves, outdoor
Hmm.
parties, lots of San Francisco building, multi-level parties, 5, 6 in the morning, lots of that. I don't even know like how, like when, how I ate or where I slept. Like there were times when I would stay up in people's houses in like San Francisco for like 3, 4 days, and I barely even knew who any of them were. We were just all like doing speed and doing coke and just talking and no one's listening for just
Yep.
hours,
Hmm.
Been there.
you know? Just scared watching the sunrise and watching joggers go by and you're just like, "What the fuck?" Weird, weird, weird stuff.
Mhm.
I don't know how I got out of that. So then eventually I met my boyfriend Matt when I was like 19, and he really saved me. Like he was I was with him for 27 years.
Wow.
Yeah. I was with Matt for 27 years and he died in 2021. Yeah.
Devastating.
Yeah.
What was your life
Yeah.
with Matt like, and how did you guys meet?
I worked at a little cafe at UCSC. This is when I lived in Santa Cruz. I worked at a little cafe and he owned an espresso machine business. He's fixed espresso machines and he came to fix something. And then later I saw him like in a bar and I was like, "Oh, you're the, espresso guy." And we just started hanging out like as friends. He had 3 kids. He had 2 ex-wives. He was older than me. He was like 12 years older than me. But we started hanging out and we're just buddies for a real long time. And then I think I got in some situation again where like I didn't have a place to live or something. I was again fleeing some situation. And he was like, "Well, come live with me till you find a place." Except I lived with him until he died.
Wow.
Yeah. And that was hard. He got cancer at age 50, kidney cancer, and he died when he was 54. It was terrifying. It was like the most terrifying 4 years of his life, of course, but
Hmm.
our life, it was
Witnessing.
horrible. I think the most useful for me at that time was I worked at this really cool place called 1440 Multiversity, which stands for you have 1,440 minutes a day to work on yourself. It was this like learning immersion center, very much like Esalen, if you've ever heard of that.
Mm-mm.
It's these kind of like woo woo places where people go and they take these like workshops. And so people came there like Deepak, all the thought provokers, authors. I met Esther Perel, I met Cheryl
Cool.
Strait, all these like really cool books and things to like personal growth, all this stuff. So I worked in the spa and I did facials on the guests who would come to these workshops. And it was the most amazing job. It was the most amazing time in my life, like the most amazing conversations I had with people. It was amazing. And unfortunately, during COVID, it's never opened again.
Mm, mhm.
I think because when I worked there, Matt was diagnosed with cancer, but I had already like really started on this um, journey of like personal growth and magic and the connecting more with, the universe and just really like looking inside of myself for change and growth and insights that like I just hadn't really thought about before since working at this place. Cause every time a guest would come, I would like read their book or listen to their podcast or whatever. So when he got cancer, I had already started building up this arsenal of knowledge and to help myself, in life in general. So when he was diagnosed, then I started just kind of pivoting towards death, everything death. Okay, what's going to happen to me when he dies? What should I read? How should I prepare? I was listening to all these podcasts. Like my favorite was called Terrible. Thanks for asking. That was my
I've
very
heard of
favorite.
that one.
Oh, it's so good. I
Mhm.
used to like go on these endless walks and just I listened to like every single one until she became like so popular. Her platform kinda changed. It's like now you
Mm.
have to buy them and whatever. The older ones were so good. And yeah, it was really scary. I felt so terrified for him and for me. I didn't
Mhm.
know where I was gonna live. I didn't know what I was gonna do. I didn't know we had 2 dogs. I didn't know what I was gonna do with them. It was horrible. The family was horrible. Like, his
Mm.
kids were horrible. His mother was horrific to me.
Oh.
It was really hard. And then he died, and I moved to Oregon 5 days later.
Yeah.
I just got rid of everything, and then I had to rehome my dogs, and that was really hard. 6 months apart from each other. That's
What brought you to Oregon? Why did
I
you
had a
do that?
friend that lived in Talent, and we had been next door neighbors to each other before in Santa Cruz. And she was like, "Well, just, come here and get on your feet." And I had never been to Talent. I had been to Ashland a couple of times, of course, just like driving through, going to Seattle and stuff, but I never heard of Talent. I certainly didn't like Medford. I'd been there before. But then I got here and I wanted to move to like Bend or Portland. I wanted to work at some big like cool resorts and do facials. But it was so calm here on my nervous system and I was in such fight or flight, like I couldn't even drive. Like
Yeah.
everything was like moving too fast. I couldn't even get in a car. I was just sitting, I sat in the backyard after I got here and just like smoked cigarettes and was like, what the fuck just happened to me?
Yeah.
I just couldn't even believe what happened to me. I couldn't believe it and I didn't even know where to start.
Chills.
Yeah, I mean, you spent your whole early childhood in fight or flight in some form, and then, like, you finally get some sense of stability and, eventually that is just ripped from you.
Yeah. Life is the shipwreck of your plans, for sure. Yeah.
So walk us through
Always
what it's
fleeing.
been like.
Being here,
Yeah.
I have definitely gone through all the emotions, but it's been fun and exciting too. Like, I kind of felt like when I first got here, like the new kid in school, like
Mhm.
just this whole, like, no one knows, like clean slate,
Mhm.
no one knows anything about me,
Mhm.
I can just start completely fresh. I mean, who gets to do that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's really exciting, but also terrifying,
Uh-huh.
lonely at
Mhm.
times, very lonely, but it's been really fun too. Oregon is beautiful and
Yeah.
a blast, and I wish I would have moved here like 15 years ago. And when I got here with my California plates, I wished I'd remembered I was from Bellingham and yelled that out the window instead of getting the
Yeah.
looks from California. Like, I'm from Bellingham. But I live with my boyfriend now, and we've been together for 3 years. He's a carpenter and also owns a sawmill, so he makes lumber. He's very Oregonian.
Yeah.
No, he's from Wisconsin. And it's been fun. I'm still, healing. This few months have been rough because I miss my dad a lot. Because we did end up being very close in the end and forgiving each other and talking about all the things, that hurt me and that hurt him too. And he was funny as all hell. So I miss him. I get up in the morning and I'm kind of weepy, but I definitely know a thing or two about grief at this
Yeah.
point.
Absolutely.
What's crazy is before we talked to you, we had an interview right before. I just said before like 3
Mhm.
times. With a girl that's like a grief counselor and like a death
Mm,
doula. And so we've just talked so much about grief all this morning and then to like
yeah,
come over on the other side with you and someone that's experienced so much
Mm.
grief in so many different ways,
mm,
even just being like expectations of the adults that were supposed to take care of you or like
mm,
the death of the future life that you thought you were gonna have with, the life you did
yeah,
have. And
yeah. Yeah, I'm always waiting for the other shoe to drop.
Yeah.
To tell
sucks.
you the truth.
Well, it doesn't always
Like,
have to be like that,
yeah,
but I know
yeah,
that's been your experience so far.
yeah. Yeah, it's hard for me to settle into like something good.
Yeah, I get
I'm
that.
always kind of like, okay, when it goes this way, I'm gonna have A, B, and C. Like I always have this like escape route, I feel like in
Mhm.
my mind constantly. And that's stressful.
Yeah.
It's really hard. It's always like I make things harder for myself,
Mhm.
Mhm.
like in a way, just because I'm always like, oh, okay, well, when that goes wrong, I gotta make sure I have this now. Like
Yeah.
but it's so intrinsically like inside of me because I have been running and fleeing and fighting and just,
Surviving.
surviving. Yeah. For so long without, yeah, parental guidance, without help. Like, I mean, I was on the streets, homeless, raped plenty of times, like scared, alone. And yeah, like you have to like do drugs in order to just hang out, be with people.
Yeah.
Even if you feel like you wanna do them or not. It's just like, that's what
Mhm.
we're doing now. Unless you wanna, like, go who know I mean, it's too late at that point to find some other friend circle.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you didn't feel like you were an addict? You felt like you were just like of the environment that you were in. It wasn't like hard for you to get off drugs.
Yes, I do kind of feel like that. Although,
Mhm.
yes and no. Like, with drugs, yes. With alcohol, I definitely carried that with me my whole life. Like I just
Totally.
recently have not been drinking for the last couple years because my current boyfriend he doesn't like it. And it's the first time in my life someone kind of corrected me in that way because Matt and I used to drink all the time. Like it wasn't a
Mhm.
problem. That's what we did. We went to Grateful Dead shows and we went to Rolling Stones concerts. Like he taught me about like music and like we partied all the time, but he was so into his business, he was such a workaholic. He didn't really have time to micromanage me.
Mhm.
I was I could just do whatever I wanted, and this time around, I feel like I'm in this, like, real adult relationship where I have to have all this, like, accountability. I'm like, "Oh,
Mhm.
I'm not supposed to come home drunk? Like, that bothers you? I don't." Like, is that irresponsible? I'm like, "Okay." So I guess I am just, like, working on
Yeah.
trying to be, like, more present, which is good for me because I need that. I crave that, and I think that it's good for me. I have to have like, I was raised by my peers, and I feel
Yeah.
like I still kind of embody that. Like, I have to have other people telling me sort of what I should and shouldn't do in a way.
Mhm. Yeah, that
Like,
makes a
I
lot
don't
of
really know
sense.
any other way. Yeah,
Mhm.
How did you meet your boyfriend that you have now?
at the talent club.
Okay. And then what is it like to be in a relationship with someone new after you were with someone for almost 30 years?
It's challenging. It's challenging. I have a hard time, like, really being vulnerable.
Mhm.
I think because I'm so afraid of more loss.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I
That makes
worry,
sense.
like, "Oh, now, like, what if he dies? Like, what if how am I gonna deal with that?" Like,
Mhm.
all those things, like, still it's almost like I'm cursed with
Mhm.
this, like, this is gonna happen. Like, I need to write a book 'cause it's just like, this is the fucked up shit that's gonna happen to you. Like, this
Yeah.
is because that's what happened to me. Like, all the things always have seemed to happen. Even though I have surrounded myself around, you should see my bookshelf. It's like all these self-help, mindfulness and all these things. It's like I have at my fingertips, yet I can never really completely embrace it. Like it's
The
always something that's
embodiment
just
is
sort of
hard.
over there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost like you're like, but that like I'm different. Like, I this isn't because you just have so much evidence of
Mm.
like how no matter what you do, like life is always going to surprise you in these very uncomfortable, unfortunate ways that like even doing that practice or, embodying this belief system, like it's not necessarily protecting you from having the shoe drop. It's like, but not for me. Like, it almost feels like.
I'm curious since, I mean, you are the one that wanted to come on the podcast, and I'm curious, like, what made you want to finally share your story and made you feel like it was time to talk about all this publicly?
I'm trying to do like brave things right now.
Mhm.
I feel like the universe really rewards you when you do brave things. Like, I feel like this has been my year of like really coming out of my shell. I
Mm,
taught a skincare course out
Mhm.
at Oshala Farms annual herb camp this year,
Yeah.
great.
and like 40 people came, and I was
You're
so,
so knowledgeable.
oh my gosh, I thank you, but I almost backed out too. Like, and this, I wanted to be like, I wanted to call and be like, yeah, I
I
can't
know that
really do
feeling.
this. But then I was like, no, I can do this. I can do brave things. I can do hard things.
Mhm.
And I can do brave things. And I already know I can do hard things. So I'm trying to prove to myself that I can do really brave things too. And
You're
I think
doing
that
it.
you really get rewarded for that. If I hadn't have done the herb camp, I wouldn't have met this woman who like approached me afterwards and was like, Hope, I want to help you. She's like, you need a brand. She's like, you need a logo. She's like, you could sell this book. You gave everyone this like 40-page book. I spent like 6 months writing this, basically a book, like a skincare
Wow.
book for free for everybody. She's like, you need to sell this. This is amazing. Like, I want to help you. And she has. She's like made me a logo. She's made me a
Mm,
website. Like she's done, and I would never have had that if I weren't brave. So I'm
that's so
really
exciting.
trying to like step outside of my noise that I always
Mhm.
have, my shadow, I guess, my shadow work, and stop listening to all the negative
Mhm.
talk and just know that I can do hard
Yeah.
things and I have things to do and I can help people. Because now
You
I just
can.
really realize that I can help a lot of people.
Yeah. Well, and you're worthy of good things happening to you too, which I'm sure is like something hard to grapple with because like as you're saying these things and having that experience, it's almost like you didn't like you created this, like you believe in yourself to some capacity to like show up and do these things, but it's like you're not fully committed to like your future self because like your whole life has shown you that like everything is going to change and it's not going to
Yeah.
be what you had planned.
Yeah. But at the same time, I love that you said that because that's really the lesson in this is that
Yeah.
nothing's permanent, right? Like
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
everything is temporary.
Mhm.
Everything. I
Everything.
think that when we hold on to change, things that are inevitably going to change, like we just become the agents of our own suffering. And that
Yeah.
is what has really helped me in this, knowing that everything's temporary. And that's so liberating. I'm like, oh
Yeah.
my God, okay, now I can accept the change because it's normal for everything to change.
Yeah.
And I don't need to just hold on so tightly.
Yeah, and just being vulnerable and knowing that there is safety in that and it will open beautiful doors and sometimes those will
Mhm.
close and everything's a chapter and it's okay to hurt when things hurt and just to take in the good moments while you have them, I guess.
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I'm proud of you. This
Yeah.
Thank
isn't
you.
easy. We both done it. Like
Yeah.
usually we're just listening to people, but then this year we've both like put ourselves out there to, challenge ourselves to tell our story because it's hard and it's scary. And I was so
Yeah.
stressed out. I was
Yeah.
like shaking, about to shit my pants before I did. And it's
Well, it
fine. Who
helps to
cares?
listen to things. I mean, I've listened to thousands of podcasts like
Mhm.
this, I think. And
Yeah, me too. I love it.
yeah, I love the messiness of humans. I
Yeah.
Same.
love how we get through adversity. I love
Yeah.
hearing other people's like juicy, horrible like things that happened. I'm like, whoa,
Totally.
how did you get through that? So cool.
But also,
I
what
just
we notice a lot of times doing this is like the healers have to heal from something. And order to be able to help other people. And like the people that are sent here or put here to help others usually go through the roughest shit,
Yeah.
because somebody that's
Mhm.
just had an easy peachy life doesn't really have the background to like help somebody or hasn't been through shit. You can tell people like it'll be okay, but if you haven't been through like your darkest times, like you don't really have the tools to help others.
Yeah, agreed. You have to know what it's like to be in the dark, to sit with someone
Yeah.
in the dark.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And when someone
And just
dies, oh my gosh, people say the
oh,
weirdest.
yeah.
I mean, that's another thing too, like with I feel like I have this whole other life, like in Santa Cruz with people that I used to know, but everyone just wants to know, like, are you basking in progress yet? Like, are you over that? Like,
Mm.
just, people just, death makes people uncomfortable. Like, grief
Mhm.
makes them uncomfortable. It reminds them of like their own mortality, like,
Mhm.
gross. Like, we don't want to talk about that, which is so weird to me because it happens to everyone. Like, why are we always so afraid to talk? Like, I'm so comfortable talking about death now. I could talk about it all day.
Yeah,
I'm
what
so
has that
comfortable.
experience, like, taught you about death? Like, do you have any belief systems around death, or what could you share for people who might be going through something similar, whether they're in the seat of watching someone die or, you know, even like, being so close encounters with someone who
Yeah.
was going through that?
Well, I think when you're close to someone who's dying, I mean, when you're watching someone go through that, for me, it was kind of like watching all of the things that we obsess about, the trivial things that we sort of obsess about kind of fall away, like the things that I thought really mattered didn't really matter so much. Like, I think the gift with cancer, at least with Matt's cancer, is that we got time with each other to talk about all the things that maybe we were disappointed in each other for,
Hmm.
things that I was upset about, that I didn't get to have kids, or I didn't get to have this or whatever. It was like none of that really mattered anymore because when you're facing death, that's it. I mean, nothing really matters other than how you feel about each other and the love that you have between each other. Literally, like, there's nothing more important than that.
Mhm.
I think that
Also,
we
what are
spend.
some things that you feel like sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Oh, I think that like for my business, like as an esthetician, it really shaped what kind of esthetician I am. Instead of chasing perfection, agonizing over aging or criticizing, myself over like every line, I feel like I just try to enjoy what I have now every day without the
Mhm.
fear of time taking that away.
Mhm.
Like, truly, that's what I try to obsess about, is just, beauty is in the present moment,
Mhm.
is how I feel about it.
Yeah, and just taking care of yourself instead of
Yeah.
like fighting against something, and
Yeah.
knowing that aging is an honor, and so doing it
Yeah. It's a
gracefully,
gift.
and not everybody gets that gift.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
love when you talk about like that you don't believe in the word like anti-aging.
Yeah.
You
I
said
don't
that,
like
right? That was
anti-aging
you. Yeah.
rhetoric. Yeah. Yeah, I think that it's just filled with like shame. Like, we're just supposed to
Mhm.
buy all this stuff that's just conventional beauty
Capitalism,
marketing.
baby.
Yeah, just designed to make us feel bad about ourselves. I
Yeah.
don't buy into it. And as an esthetician, I kind of feel like I suffer this identity crisis sometimes because I'm supposed to sell people all this stuff, right? But honestly, I feel like I'm a gatekeeper. I feel like I protect my clients from big conglomerate, big beauty
Yeah.
business.
We need that.
It's just all about money. I don't usually try to run out the door selling people stuff. I just want them to feel good about themselves and make them feel
Giving
safe.
them the tools they need to take
Yeah.
care of themselves. Yeah, definitely.
So, when did you decide to start that journey to become an esthetician? What was that like? What inspired it?
Well, I was a hairstylist actually, like all my 20s and 30s. I was a hairstylist, but it just didn't really resonate with me. And my older sister Faith is a hairstylist, and I just went to beauty school because it was something just easy to do. I think I just needed like a career, and I was like we're both really crafty. Our mom was really crafty. Like she made all of our own clothes, and I'm also an artist and I was really good at like color and updos and things like that. But it wasn't really my thing. Like I would put on color and I would just go in the back and like pray that it came out okay. Or I would be there for hours, like doing color correction till like 9 o'clock. Like I just didn't really, it wasn't my thing. But skincare, I don't know why I didn't think about that when I was even at beauty school. Like, because I was always at the library as a teenager, like looking up beauty recipes and putting like yogurt on my face and like like natural beauty was something I was always really, really into. And it wasn't until like I was, later in life, I think actually at beauty school, I remember learning that like Bed Bath and Beyond, like, or not Bed Bath and Beyond, what is that? Bath and Body Works. How
Mhm.
like I started learning about chemicals and how fake
Mhm.
all that stuff was and like perfumey. And I was like, oh my God, I threw all that away
Yeah.
and I started getting really into like just vibrant, colored, alive. I mean, now they have even more than they did when I was in
Yeah.
beauty school, which was in like 99 or something. Now there's just so many. I I will not put anything. I mean, people think it's woo woo, but like I think people in the world are sick. I think that
Yeah.
there's so many toxins going on. Like
Mhm.
there's the forever chemicals, plastics,
Mhm.
microplastics. I don't think we should be putting things on our bodies that we can't pronounce, that aren't,
Mhm.
that they need to be, they need to look alive, they need to be fresh, and they need to not have synthetics and fillers and preservatives and stabilizers. I
Mhm.
just, I won't do it.
Yep, I
And I
agree.
feel like they work. I mean, I've worked with thousands of faces and I can see the difference in
You give a
people's.
really good facial with a lot of
Thank you.
information.
But for me, it's not about the products. It's about igniting everything inside of you. My dream is that instead of women reach out for products, they just reach for their own blood flow. Like that is actually what your skin needs is just your own circulation. It's actually really simple. Like I mean, guys, they don't wear products. Yeah.
And
I,
most
s-
of them age amazingly.
yeah. And they have more oily skin, but even then, it's like think that if the more we rage war and the more we kind of try to whip our skin into obedience, like the worse it gets in a way.
Mhm.
That's what I see. And I think so many women agree. Like there's so many people I give facials to and they're just like, wow, that's a really refreshing perspective. Like I
Mhm.
agree. Like because when I go on vacation or when I don't bother to do much to my skin, it's better. And I'm
Mhm.
like, yeah, because you're not doing anything to it. It's your skin. It knows what to do, right? It's smart. It desquamates itself. It exfoliates. It knows what to do every 28 to 48 days. You have new skin.
So cool.
I just saw like a picture memory come up the other day of like my face after I got a facial with you, and I was like, oh shit, I need to book an appointment. Like I looked
Watch
so
the
good
blood
and
flow.
glowy and
You
sculpted
did.
and
You looked amazing.
all the things. But,
I'm
mom
so
life is really hard to
yeah.
do
Mhm.
things for yourself.
I'm so addicted to buying courses. I don't know if you guys, because now there's like courses
Yeah.
around every corner. I have probably spent like my whole
Love
life
learning.
savings on skin courses. I do
That's
too. I have a
amazing.
Uh-huh.
greedy mind.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
I
I
buy
like
so
that.
many. I don't even remember that I buy them sometimes. I'm like,
Uh-huh.
oh yeah, I forgot I had that thing.
Yeah.
It shows though, it
Relatable.
really does.
Thank you. I love
Yeah.
it. I truly I love that I can help people it's funny, like in full circle, going in full circle that Like I grew up feeling so unregulated and so like I was constantly in this like sympathetic state of running from the tiger. And now literally my job is to like put people in this like very beautiful, very safe, very parasympathetic,
Yeah.
loving, because that's just what I think I want someone to do for me.
Yeah.
Like I just do what I feel like I would want.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah. I think that's very human for a lot of us, especially
Yeah.
women. Just like hold and nurture and create that
Yeah.
space that we
Yeah.
ourselves need and are craving.
Yeah.
And I'm
Like
sure
there's
too, like providing that service, it's like almost meditative for you too.
Yes. It is, yeah, as I work on you, I work on myself for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
I love that.
I love that too.
Is there anything else that you kind of want to add before we start rounding up around here?
I don't think so.
You did so good.
Yeah.
Thank
It was
you.
very
Thank you for
good.
sharing your story with us.
Yeah.
It's so important.
Thank
Yeah.
And I
you.
had no idea any of that. I knew that you had a partner for a long time, but that was it, really.
Yeah. Well, thank you for letting me share my
Yeah.
story.
Yeah, it's so
Sure.
wild how synchronistic our two recordings. We don't usually even do double
Yeah.
recordings,
Oh,
but we're
interesting.
trying to stack up a few because there's birthdays and a lot of things going on. So, yeah, it's kind of wild how synchronistic these conversations are. And our guest that we recorded with, our last guest,
I can't wait to hear that.
she's not grief recovery.
Oh, no, we didn't.
She's a betrayal coach.
Yeah.
Oh,
Which was like a really amazing, fascinating conversation too, that I think is still kind of like in line with both of these conversations too.
wow. I didn't even know that was a thing. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's a really good one.
It was good. Okay, do you want to ask a question?
Yeah, so we like to ask 2 questions at the end of each episode, and our first question is, what do you do for self-care that you just can't live without?
Oh my gosh. I would so many things. I'm kind of a weirdo. Like my meditation is like cleaning. I love interior design. Like I treat my home like my body. I love like beautiful spaces. I make art. I draw a lot. I love to decorate. I love to like vacuum. I love taking baths. I love like rituals. Like I love
Mhm.
oiling my whole body and like taking a bath and lighting candles. I love fresh flowers in my house. I just love a
Beautiful.
beautiful space.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I love that for you, especially like, hearing about your background and stuff. I'm sure like the home is just such a sacred
Yeah.
thing for you now. Like it's your sense of stability and in this present moment.
Yeah.
I love that for
sure.
you.
If you
Inspiring.
could tell Little Hope one thing, what would it be? And that could be yesterday as far back as to like birth.
Oh my gosh. Keep on rocking in the free world.
Hell yeah,
So
queen.
cute. Wow,
I
we
don't have
got it.
any regrets.
Good. I love that.
That's so
Would you
amazing.
pull a card for us?
Sure. I have pine.
Tell us about
I
pine.
do love pine. I mean, that's like cozy, woodsy, like that's kind of nostalgic with like very earthy. I
Feels
love
very
it's
grounding.
very fragrant. That's very strong. Yeah. I love that.
I love it. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here with us today. Where can everybody find you?
So I work at the Blue Giraffe. I am the Wildcrafted aesthetician, and I also do home magical facials at your home that are from another realm.
I love it.
I love that so much.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Hope.
you.
We really appreciate it.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
This episode has been produced by my husband, Curtis Burgess.
Make sure to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at
Waking Up the Witch. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please email us at wakingupthewitch@gmail.com.
And don't forget to head over to the link in our bio on Instagram for all the ways to connect with both Amber and Taylar. And go to moonbeeswellness.com for all your self-care and witchy needs.
We love you. Bye.
Bye.
Ow.